It's very quiet in the forest today, apart from the chatter of a wren about 10 yards in front of me in the bracken there. It'll probably dart across the track in a minute. Otherwise, very quiet. A few redwings and blackbirds, but in terms of sound, it's just the rustling of the leaves in the wind. But it's not a bad view, is that? The sun's just started to come out and threaten us with its presence, but it's creating some fantastic light. The leaves are changing colour now, especially on the silver birches. A lot of the silver birches are becoming a rich golden yellow. The oaks, not so much. They just think about it, and they don't have the best of autumn colours, just goes a dirty sort of yellowish and then brown. But at times, if caught in the right light, they can be particularly beautiful. And most of the oaks are still green on top. But what a lovely day. Autumn's a great time for getting out and about. Not particularly brilliant if you're looking for something to film invertebrate wise, but it is enjoyable to be out. It offers, because of that lack of sound from the birds that are still present here, it offers a more, shall we say, serene or peaceful wander around the forest. And this is part of Clipston Old Quarter, what always referred to as the bottom path. It's a beautiful path, is this. Great for insects in the spring and early summer. Not all of the warmer months of the year are good for insects, which often surprises people, but I can safely say that the peak season for beetles is probably from mid-May to the end of June, really, maybe middle of July. But everything varies, depends on your interests. If you don't have an interest in invertebrates, but do have an interest in the natural world, then there's something for you 12 months of the year in woodland like this. Quite a few clumps and groups of seven-spot ladybirds about today. Seven-spot ladybirds have an uncanny ability to turn anything into an umbrella. Anything will do to provide the hint of shelter from the elements. A lot of that shelter comes from each other. If the weather turns properly wintry, shall we say, they'll descend into the leaf litter, unless they've got better protection than what leaf litter could give them. We used to spend hours and hours, days sometimes, counting ladybirds. Really appreciated, because most coleoptera recorders don't really do ladybirds. They don't class them as proper beetles. You need something about 2 millimeters long and brown and living in a dead tree to really count as a beetle in some people's eyes. Who doesn't love a ladybird otherwise? Look at that lugger picture. Nice bit of autumn colour from the sweet chestnuts and the silver birch. Lots of goat sallow scrub developing on the left hand side, and this is one area which is used by female purple empress to lay. I dare say there are 1 or 2 purple emperor larvae tucked away still on the end of the leaves in there somewhere. Too early for dangly leaf season. Another week or a fortnight. Gets very late in defoliating now, goat sallow, as do many trees of course. Autumns aren't the same or as early as they used to be when I were a lad. I didn't appreciate them as much as I do now though. I did think there'd be a bit more water in the black pool than there is. Seems quite low. There again. It has been quite dry, especially the last month or so. It looks quite nice though, and certainly better than it did. In fact, a couple of years ago, there was no water in it at all. It's another one of those days where I have this part of the forest at least completely to myself. I haven't seen anybody in this walk so far. It is a weekday, I suppose, but you would think someone would be out and about, because there's hundreds and hundreds of sweet chestnuts just lying on the floor waiting for somebody to come along and put them into a carrier bag and take them home and then eat them. Lots of free foraging material here. And this is a lovely stretch of path. Shafts of sunlight coming through gaps in the trees. And the path is highlighted in brown leaves. It looks absolutely beautiful. One of the old ancients now no longer with us in terms of sprouting leaves in the spring. But a lot of the trees that you can see at the side of the path are all limes. This was a lime avenue that was created many years ago. And very nice it is too. It's just amazing on a partially sunny day like today, lots of cumulus cloud or fog in other parts of the country that has lifted up again into low cloud, and that is breaking and it's allowing some glimpses of blue sky and sunshine. You only have to turn your back for a minute sometimes, then turn around again. The whole lighting has changed. The sun has come out and just lit up the trees. There's a silver birch just through there that's absolutely beautifully golden. Every leaf looks the same shade of gold. It looks fabulous. Not just the lighting on the trees, the lighting on the floor. Look how that changes too. It really is a fabulous time of year. It can be quite melancholy, I can understand that. The end of another summer, but you would hardly remember the summer that we've had, or the spring that preceded it. Look at the leaves, how they come down, sweet chestnut leaves. It looks magical. Do you know, for years I've walked past leaves with these growths on. I knew they were galls, but I was never interested in galls and never have been, and I never will be really. I do appreciate galls, but I'm not a fanatic on them. But for upwards of 40 years I've never wondered what caused them, what species caused them. I thought it would be some tiny wasp, but it turns out it's a mite. It's a mite called Eriophyes tiliae, the tiliae bit coming from tilia, which is the name for limes. And so after 40 odd years I have an answer. Curiosity took a while to get the better of me in this instance, but they looked especially attractive and unusual on this lovely yellowing lime leaf. So next time you walk past a lime, have a look for these. You'll be able to amaze your friends with your knowledge and certainty by saying that they're the galls of Eriophyes tiliae. This is a fabulous little stretch of path. It's quite quiet, very rare somebody comes along here, and I've still not seen a soul in the hour or so that I've been walking around, and I have this all to myself. Absolutely beautiful. And we have 3 fabulous ancient oaks here. You can just see the left hand one in shot. Quite beautiful. As a red admiral flies over my head. an absolutely gorgeous day in a gorgeous location. It's just absolutely beautiful in this light. It really is. It's quite breezy at times, but there's not much breeze to rustle these trees. It's just a shame there's the noise of the traffic in the background. It's a fabulous tree, silver birch. I know they all hate it. Beautiful light foliage, because of fabulous golden colour in the autumn, and a trunk that looks beautiful 365 days of the year. It just provides light shade, allows all the plants and trees to grow underneath it. It's a beauty. And Sherwood Forest wouldn't be the forest it is without the silver birch. They shouldn't forget that.